Knickknack.
Knickknacks.
Knack attack.
All right, folks, let's get knacking.
I'm gonna nick your knack. Is that allowed?
Knickknacks. You know them, you love them, you probably even own a few. I know I do, and almost everyone does as well. But what is a knickknack? Where do they come from? And why do we collect them? I sat down with some knickknack enthusiasts from Vassar campus to get the scoop on these sentimental trinkets and why collectors feel drawn to them.
My name is Max Steiger. I'm a sociology major. I'm 20 years old.
My name is Samson Race Dorfman, and I'm 20. I'm 20. Oh, and I'm a computer science major and an astronomy minor.
My name is Rhea Stern. I am 20 years old, and I'm a cognitive science major.
I'm Noah Case. I'm 21 years old. I study economics and math.
I'm John Frazier. I'm 21. I'm a movie major.
It's a little like figure, and it's a little guy who's standing with his hands behind his back, and it says right here, "So what's new?"
My knickknack is this little bottle of Dramamine, all day, less drowsy, which if you don't know, it's for motion sickness. I worked on a ferry boat for a few days and quit after 3 days because I was violently nauseous and throwing up at the end of each day, and they're 14-hour days, so.
My knickknack is this guy here, and you know, it might just look like a normal mushroom, but it's actually a kaleidoscope.
So it's this little bottle of iodine tablets that you use for purifying water when you're on a backpacking trip in the woods, and it's expired, which is what makes it a knickknack. Otherwise, it would actually be useful.
My knickknack is this little gnome guy on top of a snail, on top of a turtle. It's all just one little thing.
I was like 5 years old, I think, and I was just in my grandpa's house, and I was sitting on a couch kind of like this one right next to him, and I was like reaching my hand in the you know, like in the under the pillows and in between the crevices, and I felt something, and I pulled it out and I said, "What's this?" And he said, "I don't know."
This might be wrong, but I want to say it was summer between junior and senior year of high school. This was just working at home in New London, Connecticut.
So I don't exactly remember where it was. I think it was just at like a baby's like toy store. You know, at first I was like, fuck, why am I here? But then I saw this guy and I was like, hey, it's kind of cool.
It was June of 2020, and I went into RAI by my house and bought it.
I got this last semester. I was at a store called Nuts, and they just got a lot of crazy, zany things. And so I saw this and bought it.
But they don't sell nuts.
They don't sell actual nuts. Yeah.
It's been pretty consistently on some sort of like shelf. Ever since my grandpa gave it to me, it's always been out because I think it's so funny.
This one stays in the outside pocket, like the smallest pocket of my backpack.
So this is a knickknack that you carry with you. It's not on display ever?
No, certainly not on display. I don't know who would want to look at a bottle of Dramamine.
So at school, it's right next to my stereo on my little table. And at home, I think it's just on my desk. Just anywhere where I can kind of look at it every day.
Sometimes it's on my desk. Often it's up on the shelf in my closet.
This has been on my little TV stand for a while. I'm not really transporting this back and forth because I'm kind of scared of the snail breaking off and then it kind of loses its magic. Yeah, then yeah. You know, I could have bought a better turtle if it was just turtle.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, turtle.
I think his face is so hilarious. I love how fat his nose is, and I think that the like catchphrase "So what's nude" is just like so fitting.
Pretty much nothing. I just I generally have a lot of random like chapstick type stuff just hanging out in any given pocket of any bag I own. And so this always gives me a little laugh when I'm like reaching around trying to find like chapstick, and I'm like, oh, a tube, and I pull it out and I'm like, oh, that's not chapstick.
It's fun, you know? I think everyone should have that part of themselves that's like, you know, your young, carefree side. And I think it started to represent that for me.
I sort of like the utilitarian appearance, I guess.
I guess I just saw it in the store and it's just like I hadn't thought about things in this way.
So it's like the obscurity or the absurdity of the premise.
Absurdity, but also like, I don't know, maybe poignance or depth.
I don't know. I'd like to think that my knickknacks are very different. I would hope that there isn't a general vibe. I like having a lot of different things, and I don't think I have anything else that's like this guy.
That I'm very bad at letting go of things, I think. But I hate the idea of like getting rid of objects, because you can't like get objects back, you know?
That I'm a fun guy. No, but actually I think I wanted it to say something about me, like when I first got it. Like I brought it into school in 9th grade or something, and I just had it on my desk next to me the whole school day. And I was just hoping someone would say something about it, like, you know. And I was like, I just kind of want to be known for just like having a fun time and not taking things too seriously. So I kind of think that's maybe what this represents for me.
So I think my knickknacks, or my lack of knickknacks, would say that I'm maybe a sort of unsentimental person, or sort of a minimalist, and neither of those things are entirely true.
I think it says that I spend money on pretty dumb things. I don't know, I like little guys. I feel like this kind of affirms my desire or my interest in little guys.
Of like most things, no. I think once I get super obsessed with something, maybe I'll start collecting it, but no.
I mean, you know, if we're talking about back in the day, I used to have all 50 states of hoarders collected, but no, I would not call myself much of a collector. I'm definitely more of a hoarder than a collector.
I mean, I have a pretty substantial CD collection. I always felt like I wanted, you know, a different way to connect with like music besides, you know, just having stuff on your phone, because it doesn't feel like you're collecting things when you're just playing something off of your iTunes library or your Spotify. But I just didn't really feel that connection there, and then I found this like really old, like on its last legs boombox in my basement, and I was like, hey, like that's kind of cool. And then I, you know, stole some CDs from our family collection, and then I, you know, started buying my own, and it was just really exciting to feel like I was, you know, committing to each album and, you know, really listening to the whole thing. And then I just had this, I had this collection that I could just kind of look at and be like, oh, this says something about me as a person.
Nope.
I'd like I think it's nice to collect things, nice to have things. This is not any part of a collection. I think I just, last semester, just started buying little things to decorate my room. I thought that I didn't have enough things to make the space feel like mine.
Well, a collection of things is so much more organized and has such more of like a intention to it. I think if you have a collection, then it's very like, you seek out these specific things. Like people who collect coins don't just come across that special coin. They look for the like special coin with the stupid like fine print fuck up or whatever they look for.
Well, I feel like collectible items are often, I don't know, like belong to a set of sorts, right? Like there's a reason there, or I guess they also, I feel like, have some sort of value, like some sort of like market value, and that like there's scarcity, rarity, and they're desired. I think knickknacks, I mean, they can have real value, but to me, they have no real value, just emotional value.
I guess if you're collecting one type of thing, you're kind of, committing yourself to being one type of person. Like if you're like a CD guy, or if you're like I don't know, like a penny guy, like it's consistent, and it's, I don't know, you have to be kind of a connoisseur of that thing that you collect. But I don't know, with knickknacks, it's, kind of low investment, and it can be a lot of things. It can kind of encompass a lot of parts of your personality.
To me, knickknack carries this almost haphazard connotation of I saw it and I wanted it, so I bought it. A collectible, a collector's item, I feel like that tends to be something very specific that you seek out.
So I think that's really an interesting observation about maybe collectibles being more of a projection of our desires, and knickknacks being more of a projection of our self.
Right, and I think people who really sort of collect things in a systematic fashion couch it as an investment, whereas a knickknack is sort of a frivolity.
I think it's just general. I think there's just something nice about a knickknack. I feel like that's what knickknack implies. It's just like nice and little. And like you can't do anything. Like I can't do anything with this. This isn't gonna bring me any any joy of like an activity.
Yeah, I think for me, it's just like I like having something where I'm like, oh, that's like bringing back such a distinct memory. I look at this and it like totally takes me back to like a very specific time, very specific place. I can like remember like my grandpa's flat and like the bagel smell in it.
What kind of bagels did it smell like?
That general bagel smell,
I don't know, like I feel like collectibles are much more associated with wealth. Like these things are rare, they cost money, you have to find them. I think knickknacks for me are largely, as I touched on earlier, just a representation of me.
I kind of feel like it's easier to realize your feelings about where you are in your life when you can kind of channel them into an object. When you emotionally invest in something and kind of associate it with like changes in your life or a certain time, I think it tends to carry a lot of weight, and it makes you realize things. And for me, it's made me realize that like I guess there's been more consistency in like who I am as a person like throughout the years.
I don't know why we collect knickknacks. I think it probably is a reflection of our need to connect with the physical world rather than just with what's in our own heads.
I don't know why other people do. I know that I just like the idea of having a tangible object of something that I like. So much of what I attribute parts of my personality to are like digital, like it's like I like this music or I like this movie or something like that. But that's not an object. That's not something I can like, I don't know, it just feels less real.